Man, I think life would be better if all humans were naked. The guy's just standing there, like very happy for me to be flirting with his girl.
Has the Rizz God ever got rejected?
When you're being rejected, man, it's life and death now.
Has a girl ever intimidated you?
Man, I just know how insecure she is.
And what's the meaning of toxic masculinity for Diego?
It's insanely healthy, not only for you, but for a relationship. Making a girl feel comfortable is what's going to keep her there.
Best places to approach women?
The best place to approach women are...
Welcome back to the Bulletproof and Beyond podcast today. A very special guest and a brother at heart. We have Diego Day, also known as the Rizz God on social media, who is known for talking to girls on the street, has been super viral at doing that, and is also the love coach for Gym Date Season 2. What's up, bro?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Happy to have been in Malta for the last few days. We filmed a really fun and entertaining and interesting series of love. Well, as a love coach, gym dates. So excited for everything and excited for the next hour or two we've got on here.
Yeah, I think it was interesting as well. The shoot was very much like the first time we had really gone to the extreme of more social entertainment based concept, and there was no other guy to be the love coach than this man himself. So that's
when you guys reached out to me and we talked about it, I mean, it all happened within like 3 days. And the main thing was me, like the concept. I think the concept's amazing to like not fucking blab on about it. Essentially, when you're in the gym, you don't get so much time to talk to each other, but generally people who go to the gym will be interested in each other, right? For me, would love to have a girl that took care of her body. I don't know whether I'd let her go to public gyms, maybe like downstairs in the house, you know. Guys in the gym are, whew, as Adam showed us earlier today, a bit fucking terrible. But yeah, it's a really good concept, and man, as I said, it's been a really great experience and a nice way to end off.
How did you get into pickup in the first place?
I tell you what, so it was less of like me being super good at talking to girls and getting it, and then more of me just being super good at talking to people. It's all about a cycle of social anxiety. And when you break your cycle of social anxiety, which comes with putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, having no fear of rejection, being super self-confident, then you just get to speak to anyone. I was telling Scott yesterday, I had a woman, an 80-year-old woman next to me on the plane, like from Mexico over to here, and I was just fucking chatting to her the whole time. I was dropping game on her, man. And that's how you have to be. You have to be able to talk to everyone and not fear in any situation being able to talk. And then I kind of moved that over to, okay, if you can communicate well with people in general, sales, life, family, friends, you can communicate well with girls. And that's what we're essentially doing with girls, right? We're selling ourselves. So.
Was there a moment that you felt like you improved drastically, or was it always like compounding?
I thought I was always amazing, but if you watch back some of my old videos, you'll see like even little changes with my body language and the way I'm attacking so it's definitely like got to a max point where now I have no hesitation when I'm approaching girls and things come quicker to say. But generally we have a phrase in English, having the gift of the gab, the gift of the gab. So I would say I've always had the gift of the gab, but that did come with a lot of putting myself in uncomfortable positions. I've not had a necessarily easy life, but I've put myself outside my comfort zone many times, and now I'm at a stage where rejection doesn't scare me.
So I want to get all in the technicalities of these type of things, but I also want to take a trip back to memory lane on how you got into such a niche type of content. Like, what's the story? You're 22 years old, you're living in Mexico, you're from the UK. What's going on, you know?
Yeah, so as I said, like I'm in Mexico in the winter and in UK in the other months, so I'm to and from. Have been for the last 3 years. The content started in Mexico. My first super viral video was filmed in the UK. And what happened was I was doing public interviews because I met the people that were kind of doing that side of things within a business perspective. And I had a job and I was doing it like for fun. I always knew I'd be in front of the screen. And then I did a video where during the public interview, me and the girl were having a bit of back and forth, a bit of banter, a bit of rizz, as you would say. And the actual definition of rizz is when you can like make a girl that wasn't initially into you. Let's say you go to approach a girl, like, I don't know, in the gym with her headphones on and she's not initially into you. Like she's like, oh, hi. By the end of the interaction, you're making her super attracted to you. That's like what rizz is. So that's essentially what I did in the video. And it got like, man, it's on like 26, 27 million views at the moment. and that shot me up through the roof. But since then, it's been a constant journey of kind of just risen and risen and risen.
It's funny because I thought you actually moved to Mexico to pursue your business in pickup. Because you'd say, oh, he's not going to do anything in London during the winter because it's all cold. Everyone's cooped up in rain jackets. But it's funny that you moved to Mexico before that.
Yeah. Mexico was before everything. As I said, it's where stuff started. I actually prefer to do pickup in London because it's harder. Mexico, like, it's easy, man. You pick up a bit of Spanish. Because they're open. The Rizz isn't easy, but to enter the conversation is easy. In London, the hardest thing is to enter the conversation. Yeah. Because everyone is so ready to, like, reject. Yeah, it's like going into a boxing fight and a guy's got armor on. To even actually have one punch that's going to sink in, it's like impossible. Yeah. So London, everyone's got their walls up, and we have in London, I don't know if you guys have it here, outside like train stations and stuff, and generally around the center, we have a lot of guys who try to like collect for charities. Now, I've got my own suspicions as to whether they're actually trying to collect. And it's a bunch of young guys just stopping everyone. Have you got any money, this? And I go up to girls, I'm sure they think I'm these guys. I go up to girls and I'm like, hi, excuse me. They're like, no, I haven't got any money. I'm like, what the fuck? I wanted your number. Like, you can give me some money as well. But, so that doesn't help. Yeah. That doesn't help.
Yeah, so when you moved to Mexico, what were you doing back then? I assumed you were doing something else, no?
When originally?
Yeah.
I had a marketing business. I was doing it on my own. I was in and out of football coaching. So I played super high level football when I was a bit younger, and then coming off of that, I pretty much straight away after injury started coaching. I had my own coaching business. I coached for a couple of people. I coached for Watford, and then after that, I opened up like a marketing business where I was running people's social medias, and after that, I thought, wow, social media is super powerful. I have a mindset that's super powerful. I think I have a personality that's super powerful. So I started to implement it. As I said, it started off as like a bit of fun. I started overtaking like people around me that were like doing it with me. I was like, oh shit, you guys like, this is life and death for you guys. For me, it's like, I'm just chilling. But maybe I was born to be in front of the screen.
Yeah, I think like personally, this episode is very special in the sense that it's sort of everything comes to the point of today's society, the scarcity with these type of things. And, you know, one of the biggest fears that people have is actually talking to women. And I think a lot of the values that you will have to be able to do it are also adapted in everyday life, right? It's like confidence, it's accepting rejection, it's persistence, it's creativity and conversation, it's sales. And that I think is where I really want to ask, you know, what your take is on talking to women being some of the biggest fears of today. Like what's that about?
Yeah, so the first thing and the most important thing to notice or to note is that so much more goes into talking to women, and it's to do with so much more than you'd think. Now, the first message is that I'll tell guys, I told you the other day, I'll tell guys, why don't you go speak to her? And they're like, I don't want to. I'll be like, no, you're scared to be rejected. And guys will initially be like, I'm not scared of rejection. Who's scared of rejection, right? But then you put a piece of paper in front of a guy and you say, listen, you are 100% going to get this girl's number if you go and speak to her. They would go. Right, if you saw a girl and you knew 1,000,000% you're gonna go. So it is the rejection that we're scared of, and understandably, we're in a world where it's so critical, so competitive. When you're being rejected, man, shit's life and death now. Yeah, it's super competitive, and we're also in a world where people now are able to hide behind their phones. Now, I'm not gonna start preaching, oh, we should live like we did 80 years ago. Technology is fucking amazing. It allows us to be here right now doing this with a million different lights, cameras, and lights and computers, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. But there's a management to it, and there's certain things that still include real life skills. So where you can hide behind a screen. Now, one of the questions I get asked so much about is how do you DM a girl? How do you message a girl? That's all well and good. DMing a girl is comfortable because if you get rejected, you haven't actually put yourself in a situation. So it's only when you're in that fucking person, when you're in that environment and you put yourself into a situation where you can be stripped naked. But the difference between men and boys is when you are stripped naked, is you're still fine.
I felt like that today.
Huh?
I felt like that today.
Right.
Like I feel like I'm a very confident person. I can speak, I can sell, I can be on camera. But fuck me, when I was like trying to talk to that girl in that moment, I have no idea of how to go about it. Like I haven't approached a girl in ages. So I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do here? Like It's just because I'm not putting myself in a situation to approach a girl. And I think many guys aren't being put in a situation where they're approaching getting rejected.
Yeah.
And let alone on fucking camera for our YouTube.
You've got to imagine it like
with the Rizz God.
There is God.
Like you literally couldn't have it worse.
No warm up.
Literally.
I'm like, oh
That takes
shit.
balls, yeah, it takes
And I'm
balls.
confident. I say, hey, maybe I misapproached it, but what you're saying is like, the Rizz approach is fucking different.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least I wasn't laughing at you or anything.
Not at all.
The way you've got to look at it is like, I don't know, you're in public and like, as kids we used to like pants our friends like fucking,
Yeah.
it was like a and someone does it to you and you get all like, oh, man, just okay. Well, you want to see my dick? Just take fucking dick out. Like, what the hell? That's what life is, man. I think life would be better if all humans were naked. We all walked around naked all the time. I've got nothing to hide. I am who I am, and man, rejection is such a normal case of life. And the people who are able to be rejected not only will be more successful and resilient, as you say, with girls, but also in job, in life.
Yeah, they'll thrive.
Right, 100%. But rejection is all around us, and you need to know how to deal with it. It's not nice. Yeah, it never becomes nice. I laugh at it. I think it's quite funny now, but you need to put yourself in the situations to get hurt. That's what makes you a man.
Has the Rizz God ever got rejected?
I met fucking millions of times. I've been rejected more than I haven't. People don't see it. And I tell people all the time, the reason I don't post the rejections is because they're boring. Like, you don't want to see a video of me going up to a girl and going, hey, you, and she's like, bye. Like, because it's not entertaining. I would post them. I have nothing to fucking hide.
Let me reword it. They could reject you by cutting you off right away, but then it's also not the chance to get the reason, right? But if you have the conversation, what % follows through?
If I get into a conversation where she stops, looks at me, headphones out, we're engaged, 1% of girls will leave without.
One out of 100?
1 out of 100. I'll secure, if I get into a conversation with a girl and she hasn't got a boyfriend, or even she fucking has got a boyfriend, I'll secure 99% of girls,
That's why you don't have one online then.
Don't have what?
Any like actual failed conversation rejections?
Right, no, I have a couple, man. I have a couple where like the conversation's amazing, and then I'm at the end, I'm like, right, so a line I like, and this is a great tip for guys out there as well. Instead of asking for a girl's Instagram, like, can I have your Instagram? We all know that girls, they lack certain characteristics, right? And one of them is decisiveness. One of them is making a decision. So part of Rizz is never, ever, ever letting a girl make a decision, because when her brain has to work, she goes into shutdown mode, she gets scared, and when someone gets scared, they get no. Right, so a super important tip is when you go to a girl and you want to close the Instagram at the end, instead of saying, can I have your Instagram, please? And she's like, I have to say yes or no. Fuck, I don't know what to say. You say like, so I'm going to put my Instagram in your phone, or something I like to use is, are you taking my Instagram or am I taking your Instagram? It's a bit funny. It's like, and then she has to choose one of them, right? It's a win-win for me, whichever one. But there have been like very few where at the end I'm like, am I taking yours or are you taking mine? They're like, no. We just had like an hour-long conversation, really flirty, and I really like you, but I'm not, why would I take your Instagram? I'm like, and even me, I'm like, what? Really? Oh, okay. Have a nice day, I guess.
Okay, and leading on to this, has a girl ever intimidated you?
In my life or recently?
Like,
no, I don't think
a
so.
girl like, oh shit, she's like,
No, because any girl that would come and really try to like overpower me, man, I just know how fucking insecure she was.
so even if she's like a high value woman, like Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner,
That is your definition
You
of a
find those
high
on the
value
I don't know,
woman?
she's the-
You find those on the street.
they have like big net worth.
That is your definition of a
Okay,
high.
give me a high value woman.
I've met famous women and moved to them before without a bit of hesitation.
Okay.
Like famous women, like famous women. No, you're not getting any names out of me.
So yeah, I think one thing that Adam said upon before, which I think is a really good thing, is because today everything is so done behind the screen, and there's that lack of intimacy and communication, actual engaging with people, which is probably the biggest killer of it all. I think that the lack of events or communities or something, it could be something like speed dating, something Jordan Peterson had talked about a lot with regards to being in exposure of multiple different women at the same time is going to really get you comfortable with talking to women, in one scenario, which I think could be interesting. I mean, I don't know what your take is on that. If you think that's a plus for the guys who really shy away from it.
Yeah, I've thought about it. So a lot of guys now will see it like stuff like me happening online and be like, right, I need to go out and dedicate an hour of my day to approaching women just to keep that. And that's great. But the truth of it is a lot of us don't have an hour in our day. I'd say the best solution apart from picking something and going, right, speed dating here at 9 o'clock and making events, just start to talk to people in your day-to-day life. Like, instead of going shopping with your headphones in, take your headphones out, communicate with the cashier. If you need help in a shopping center, so many people walk around 10 minutes trying to look for something because they're scared to ask the person where it is. Just ask people. Even if you look dumb, just save time, communicate with people. And yeah, everyone tries to work everything out for themselves, which is fine because, it's good to be independent, but that's not the reason they're doing it. It's because they're scared to ask. Talk to people, talk to your fucking neighbors, talk to the dog on the street, make conversation in your day-to-day life with everyone. And then you start to just understand that speaking to people is easy. And even if some people aren't nice, some people are rude, some people don't want to talk to you, the rejection will come into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out Russell.
I have a good one. Any awkward or very strange scenarios where you ever picked up a girl? It doesn't have to be on camera. Could have been like off content. Like very like weird, awkward.
I wouldn't say one specifically came to mind, but a situation that's come to mind that's happened a couple of times, like me picking up a girl and then her boyfriend like comes out of the shop or wherever he was in, comes, and the girls like carry on speaking to me because they're in like an open relationship. Yeah, so that happened. I'd say at least twice, but probably around twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know. I've never had it where a girl's boyfriend is actually there in live. I've had DMs from girls and boyfriends or whatever, but yeah, that was definitely outside of my comfort zone. I stayed in. I hung in. I've fucked girls before, like that have helped their boyfriends have been there, like in their open relationship.
They would be there where?
Not in the room. Like when I approached
They
her.
would be like present in the relationship.
No. When I approached her originally, like I'm chopping this girl, knowing who her boyfriend is, not personally, but yeah, like let's say I approached the girl and her boyfriend came out of the shop, and then we were talking, and then I got her Instagram, and then we texted, we took it back to a hotel room or whatever, and
Why do you think that's happening? Why is the girl? Okay, maybe because it's Rizz God, but is there any other reasons why psychologically the girl is going for you and like saying "fuck my boyfriend"? What's the psychological thing there?
No, it's an open relationship, so she's not saying "fuck my boyfriend" necessarily. But if you're in an open relationship, you clearly have very high sexual desires. It's the only reason you'd be in an open relationship is you really like having sex with a lot of people. I don't understand the concept of an open relationship. No, of course not.
But you've talked to so many women, like
I have, yeah. Doesn't mean she has to or she can. No, speaking to women is very different than sleeping around with a lot of women. And if I was in a relationship, I wouldn't be doing what I do now. But I'm not, so I can.
You see yourself married with kids one day?
Of course, 100%. I feel like kids is one of the biggest purposes in a human's life. And without them, yeah, I feel like that cuts a purpose. Again, something else we were talking about recently is purpose with guys. Super, super important. And as men, I feel like people who don't want kids may be a bit more selfish people and a bit more scared and maybe immature, because when you don't feel like you can take responsibility for yourself, you don't want to take responsibility for another human's life, which is understandable. Now, if you can't look after yourself, don't have a fucking kid, yeah, 100%.
And I want to see if you have this energy. So imagine you pick up a girl, you start speaking to her. Would you know from her energy that she would want kids or no kids? Or impossible to completely like feel that vibe from the get-go? Like that instinct, like this girl might not be willing to have, she's a career-driven woman, or this one, or is it too soon to?
I like you just asked an Aladdin question.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a weird question. I guess you could probably make a guess from initial. I'm pretty sure like 90% of people in the world want kids, right? So it's very rare people that just sit and they're like, I don't want kids. And if they are, they're probably usually younger. Because when you get to let's say you get to 30 years old, you've completed everything, you've done everything. You may not be a millionaire, but you've worked loads of jobs, you've done loads of things that you wanted to do. You're gonna be looking at kids, right?
Yeah,
some whether it's now, and that's where I feel like
yeah.
that's where I feel like at 22 I've just like done and achieved so much in my life that maybe I'd be looking for that earlier on. But some guys take a bit more time, and it's not a bad thing at all, right? So they might be looking at, as you said, like 30 years old, and it's time now.
Yeah. So, bro, I have a bit of quick questions for you, which are a bit more to the point on the aspect of talking to women, which have been searched online a lot. The first question is, how do you approach women or a random girl on the street?
Uniquely, organically, creatively.
Okay, give me an example.
An example is you're going to look at what she's wearing, what she's doing, how she's moving, how she's acting. And when you approach her, you're going to do it with confidence. You're going to try and do it from in front. It's ironic because a lot of my videos are like from behind. But generally, you try and approach a woman for a front, make her feel super comfortable. And with the initial line, it's important that it either engages her, it makes her curious, or it makes her laugh. They're the three things. Now, one in Spanish, which works amazing for me, I just say, tengo una pregunta. It means I have a question. I'm like, hey, excuse me, I got a question for you. Girls are so nosy. They just want to know what the goddamn question is. And by the time they actually get the question, they feel the energy. So the approach is all about making her stay, right? We want to show her that we have a good energy, we're able to speak to them, and they're going to like us. But as I say, a lot of girls, initially, they just want to move. So you got to stop her. But generally, yeah, be organic. Find something creative to talk about her clothing or her. But not like, oh, I like your eyes. You have nice. Like, say something different.
Yeah, and
That's-
just a note as well, guys, is that Diego speaks multiple languages, which is a huge asset to have when he's living in Mexico. Correct?
Yeah, I'd advise everyone to learn another language. I actually feel like it changes your respect levels in life. When you speak another person's language, you feel like you have more respect for them.
He's earned it, you know?
Yeah, and it's important. You need to open your mind to these things. I mean, I hate like a lot of English people will Americans are the worst at it. Man, I'm sorry because I'm not even trying to avoid the responsibility as the UK, but Americans are terrible. Americans will go to countries and be like, what? You don't accept dollars? Like, what the fuck? Of course we don't accept dollars. You're in the UK. Because in Mexico, for example, they accept dollars. In South America, a lot of places will accept dollars because they can charge them a crazy conversion rate and be like, whatever. But Americans will just go speak English, and English people as well will go to other countries and expect everyone to speak English. Now, I would advise everyone in the world to speak English. It's the language of money, unfortunately. This is how business is done. It's done in English. In the Middle East, in America, in Russia, in China, it's done in English. But yeah, I think it's super important to open your mind up to learn another language.
So what is the biggest mistakes when talking to women?
The biggest mistake when talking to a woman would be a lack of energy. Guys bring a really useless and monotone energy, and they think it's all about the words they choose. Oh, did I say this right or this right? You can say anything, as we saw today. Man, what was you saying to the girl today? Something about liking her pink fucking hair, and you were gonna wear your pink swimming trunks to the next gym session. And what was she doing? She was just standing there nodding at you. Yeah, pink. Yeah, okay. Just give me your fucking number, right? That's all she cares about because you're approaching with a good energy. So yeah, the biggest mistake guys make is not approaching with a good enough energy and thinking about or worrying about what they're gonna say and what they're gonna do. Yeah. Energy will carry all.
Yeah, overthinking is one of the biggest downfalls too, right?
Yeah, it's just
Usually is the case.
Yeah, it's very simple. Approach, good energy, create a vibe.
I have a good question. Best places to approach women?
Like country?
No, like as in
Scenarios, like top 3
like
scenarios.
you're in a city, town, you know, where do you go?
The best place to approach women are in your day-to-day life, whatever's happening. Like so natural. Because when you're at the beach with your friends and you're walking around approaching, it seems a bit more like set up and made up, but you're shopping next to a girl and you pick up a fucking orange and she's doing this and you can just bounce off it. She's like, oh, like this was meant to be. Girls have this fucking fantasy in their head, you know, but it feels organic. It feels natural. So where I'm saying be organic in what you're saying, if I go to a girl in the gym, I have to be 10 times more organic because every single guy in that goddamn gym has already approached her once in their life. Right? But when you're outside of it on a day-to-day life and she's not worrying, girls will be in the gym like, oh, I hope guys don't come and approach me. Like they'll be on their treadmill doing their walk and be like, I hope guys don't approach me and try and get me to be their walking buddy.
This is going hard today, guys.
Oh my God.
I'm never going on a treadmill again.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically answered what the best tips are, but maybe a bit more concrete. Like what are the best tips when talking to women or approaching women?
The best tips when approaching a woman would be make her feel comfortable and be organic for me. Like making a girl feel comfortable is what's going to keep her there. And you need to keep her there to implement your energy. Now I say keep her there because naturally girls want to leave. They have a rejection already engraved in their head. And then if you can be kind of organic and creative and bring good energy, on top of making her feel comfortable in there, it's a win-win, man. She's gonna be in your bed by noon.
Not bad. I have a good question. So since we're coming from a fitness and health-based background, how much does health and fitness play a important part in picking up women or talking to women?
It's funny because people are looking at us like, what a like silly question. Has no correlation. Everything has a correlation. Every single thing. Not only are you going to look at your physique and be more happy and more self-confident in yourself, because yes, as a fat, unhealthy person, you are going to lack confidence, and rightfully. Yeah, if you are fat and you do not look healthy or good, I am not telling you to be proud and be confident and be yourself. You need to take care of your body. You need to do what you can do to take care of your body. And there is no excuses to that. Every single person in this world has their different struggles, has their different levels of shit thrown at them. So there's no excuse to being unhealthily overweight. Now I know people who are quite happy to not have a six pack, and that is completely all right. But at the level of health, it's a problem. So the gym not only helps with your self-confidence, not only helps with your social aspect and anxiety, because you're in a man, the gym is the one thing every day we have that's just the real world. It's just us in a room with other people, exercising, talking to people, connecting with people with similar interests. But also, it's going to increase your self-value as a man. You're going to understand you've worked harder. And when you increase your self-value as a man, because you understand that you put work in to be who you are, your self-confidence will naturally increase. It all goes round in a fucking circle. Everything we do as men is about being healthy. Also, when you're healthy and you're clean, you have a good energy naturally. And energy, as we've already told or spoken about, implements hugely into a girl. It's crazy how the psychology works behind everything.
And the main contribution is done to yourself, or is there as well that feeling of that more sexual attraction that the female has, or you think dad bod works as well? If you're confident and you have a dad bod, the success rate with someone who's ripped, maybe not massive, and still confident is more or less the same?
Physically is much less important in that aspect. Yeah. The way a girl is attracted to you will be 100% in energy. Man, you come to some of these countries and you see a fat, ugly guy, 5'4", similar height to you, Ads, and
this guy,
and
5'5", please,
4.5, and she's with this. He's with this tall Russian, blonde, blue eyes, gorgeous, healthy lady. Okay, there's money is involved in it as well, but she's attracted to him because she's blinded by whether it's the money or not. Girls are easily blinded by attraction, right? There's so many ways of attraction. So, I mean, again, all in proportion, dad bod in healthy condition, girls will like it as much as not.
Yeah. I have a question now, like, honestly, what do you think are the biggest assets that attract women? It could be physically, it could be emotionally, it could be monetary.
Same thing, energy.
You still think that's
energy will override fucking everything. Good energy is the hardest thing to say no to. I know people who hate talking to people, and when I approach them with my energy, I can see it in their eyes. They feel bad when they reject me. Like, even, let's take it back to the supermarket, a cashier, yeah? I'm talking to her, hi, how's your day? And she's like, oh, yeah. She doesn't want to talk to me. But it becomes hard for her. She's like, wow, this guy's fucking lovely. Like, I'd really love to talk to him, but I'm just depressed and I don't want to talk to him because I'm whatever. Good energy overrides always the hardest thing to say no to. Money is definitely, and status are definitely aspects to it. But for smaller-minded people, for open-minded people and the general person, energy is everything.
You think energy and Rizz are different? Because imagine, for example, scenario, you're working in a 9-to-5 job, sunglasses store, and you're like a guy or a girl, and this old man approaches you, and you like 6 p.m. you want to go have drinks with your friends. You don't give a fuck about him. But if you had to approach that with energy, that guy, could be like, okay, he buys a pair of sunglasses, he gives you his business card because you serviced him well, you asked him the right questions, you sold it, and the guy is Richard Branson, and there you go. He calls you the next week. He says, you want to, start working with me. So it's like, because I feel like I've got good energy. I hope I do. But then when it comes to Rizz, maybe after this scenario today, I felt like I'm not there. So can you maybe go through the difference articulate yourself between energy and Rizz a bit more? Because I see that energy is very important when it comes to Rizz. But then how does that apply into the Rizz?
Right, yeah. So energy is a huge proportion of the Rizz. Obviously, there's other aspects to it. Yeah, but there's also different scenarios. It depends on the level of comfortability we're happy to bring energy to. I have loads of friends who are so fucking funny with me. so like happy to be involved in the jokes and humorous, and then they go to a girl and it just locks off. So you know that guys are much less likely to reject you because we don't reject each other as guys. We understand that we're all men. We all, especially when you're like you have similar interests. We all go to the gym. We have similar humor and this, and it's all easy. It's very easy to bond as guys. But with a girl, there's always the fear that I'm doing this for her approval. Like when you was a kid and you was trying to get your dad to, it's the same thing. So when you won, knock out the fear of like, or knock out the mindset that you're like begging to be in her life. She doesn't hold the cards. You hold the cards. You're very happy to walk away and you don't need that girl in the situation. So I think there's like, we feel like there's more to lose with a girl. Actually, I'd say there's more to lose with guys because guys will help us to be better people and whatever. But generally energy is a huge part of Rizz. Energy is what like makes us who we are. So the energy around us is what makes us who we are. And what energy we portray is essentially who we are, as I say, portraying as a person. Like our energy is us. So it gets us everywhere or nowhere.
So what would your advice be to a big percent of people who really lack energy? Because most people are very blunt in that sense. What would your advice be?
First of all, look around you. I don't think energy is about changing people. You're allowed to be an introvert. You're allowed to not die for public conversation. I love it. I love talking to people. I love things. I think it's super important to be able to do that. It's the ability to do something. It's not about doing it all the time, right? Same as fighting. The ability to fight is much better than the ability to start a fight. If you have the ability to fight and you ever need to defend yourself, your family, a girl, an old woman on the street getting robbed, it's much better than just being a decent fighter and going around fighting everyone. Same thing. You don't have to have this good energy. I'd look around you at your circle and your environment. Make sure everything's feeding in to be a good energy. Cut out the moaning in your life. Any single time you are stressing, ask yourself, like, does it really fucking matter? Ask yourself if someone is gonna die in this situation. There is 1 out of 100 times we are stressed that it actually matters. First thing, the easiest thing to cut off, if there's nothing you can do about it, stop stressing. So many times, I don't know, you left your AirPods on the bus in the middle of Colombia, and you're gonna spend the whole day calling where's it? I should fucking leave the AirPods. You lost them, they're gone. No one's dying for it. Yeah, an old woman just found a pair of AirPods, she's gonna give it to her son for Christmas. Everyone's stressing so much about things that are really unimportant. We need to, we've
There's a
forgotten
really
about
good quote. They say like, if this problem is not going to be a problem in 5 years, don't give it 10 more seconds.
Yeah, we're wasting time and we're wasting energy.
That's it.
So when you put so much energy into them things, you don't have energy for the things you need to have them for, which is our approaching girls. And you'll find that so much more. The happy people in life, the people that have really high energy, the people that go to the gym, the people that take care of themselves are able to approach these girls.
So it seems like, for 22, bro, you're very mature. You know exactly what you want, and it comes down to a nature-nurture conversation as well. And where your family, or are your family like this as well? Are they very open-minded and open to people?
Yeah, my family's all over the place. We have different people and different opinions.
Bro, who's your North Star? Who do you look up to? Who's your role model? Or Diego looks up at Diego?
No, I'm my biggest strength and my biggest weakness every day. Every day I'm looking in the mirror telling myself, wow, you're amazing at this. And every day I'm looking in the mirror saying, wow, you're weak as fuck for this. So it's all about balance, taking accountability. Role models in life, I wouldn't say I look up to someone because I really want to create my own path. I have very good role models within my family. So I definitely say I admire both my parents for different reasons, but outside of that, I like to create my own lane. And if I'm seeing a guy do something amazingly, man, I'm gonna go and ask him, how do you do it?
Yeah.
And luckily through social media, we can kind of pick and choose what we want to pick up according to our journey. The thing is that people will adapt an opinion of someone and try and apply it all to their lives. Like, I want to be like this guy. It's not happening. You need to hear. He's gonna speak for 1 minute. You need to hear the whole sentence. You need to take 2 seconds of that 1 minute. And you need to see how you can apply it to your life to grow to the direction that you want to have, which you have to have in your head.
Yeah. So from like a life perspective and social media perspective, who are your top 3 guys you really enjoy tuning into, or like watching their content, or take value from?
I mean, recently I've definitely got hooked on David Goggins' mindset. the reason being, not everything, yeah? I'm going to be the first one to say, man, first of all, I love you, David, but it's this whole thing where his message does not apply to everyone. It actually applies to probably like 0.001% of the people.
Why?
Yeah, two things. One, like, no one's going to have had the same situation he has and want to achieve the level of difference like he has. Yeah, he's achieved like probably the biggest level of difference possible, from literally -10 to level 1,000,000. So, you know, his mindset is programmed in a way that works for him. And it's not necessarily someone should be sitting there going, oh, I need to, but this is what small-minded people do. I need to do this every day. I need to go and run. And when I've got a broken leg, I want to carry, man, you got a broken leg, go to the fucking hospital, get it fixed. So you could, you know what I mean?
This like level of insanity is
There's balance to it, because health comes first, always, in every fucking situation. But yeah, man, his message about accountability is so strong, and we lack it so much. Also, his level about whoever you are, never any excuses, is super amazing for me. Other than that,
You've got to have two more, man.
yeah,
You've got to.
it's hard. Actually, I don't know. I'm thinking like favorite creators, maybe someone outside of like motivation who I really like. I'm trying to think
maybe
of
there
people.
are girls as well.
I'm trying to think of people I follow who don't follow me. Like, but
Like, I'm gonna throw some names, even maybe like your opinions on them, like the Bilzerians, the Tates.
Yeah, Dan Bilzerian, I like him. He's funny. Let's group them two, even though they're very dissimilar in a lot of ways, but also similar in a lot of ways. People like Bilzerian and Mr. Tate. You just have to take their stuff with a pinch of salt. And like I said, you have to take 2 seconds from their minute of talking, apply it to your life, and improve. Because if you take what Andrew Tate says and you apply the bit about working hard on yourself as a man, holding value as yourself as a man, and not letting shitty girls run your life, apply it to your life, you're doing brilliant. If you see kind of Dan Bilzerian's mindset about work and ethic, you don't have to be sitting on a yacht with 50 girls wearing your fucking merchandise or bikini. It's not the point. They're preaching their life. Yeah, that's all us people on social media do. Me too. I'm preaching my life. It's not going to apply to you. It's not going to apply to either of you. It's not going to apply to anyone. You can take the aspects from our wisdom and our experience and put it within your own life.
Yeah. And why do you think Andrew Tate became the most Googled man on the internet, like about a year ago? Like, why? What's going on there?
Because he knew it. He knew it before he did it. He had a plan. It's funny. He had a plan. He executed it. Just like David Goggins said, plan fucking everything. Plan everything. And then you can take it. What a plan does for you is allows you to take accountability. If I say I'm going to go into the gym tomorrow, as soon as I go into the gym, I've achieved what I'm going to do, yeah? I can leave and I've done what I've said I'm going to do.
But he was on the internet like for 10 years and he was saying the same message over and over again. Why is it in the last maybe 24 months that Andrew Tate became Andrew Tate?
I mean, I think he attacked it with more of, as I said, more of a plan, more of an intelligent structure. He got on the right places. He said the right things. He said the right things to go viral. He said the right things to get the controversy. And he said the right things for people to get addicted on what he said.
I mean, it's the whole conversation of toxic masculinity as well, which a lot of people, would say the same thing. It's mad.
Yeah, everything's in proportion, right? And if you're going to sit here and tell me, do I believe that men and women were equal? I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up. Of course they're not. Do I have boobs or a vagina? No. So how are you going to tell me we're equal? Man, my hair's long, yours is short. We're not the same person, right? We're completely different people. Me and you, two men, are completely different. So how are you going to tell me that I'm equal to a woman when this argument about like the persistence in women arguing that, oh, women can do all the sports men can. No, they're not. No, they're not. You put how many players play netball? You know the sport netball?
Yeah.
Like it's a woman's sport, right? You put it's 5, right? No, 7. You put 7 of the best men in the world on a women's netball court, they're gonna fucking kill them. They're gonna destroy them. Even the best gymnasts in the world are men.
Yeah, there's biology that plays a big part into it.
Right? The men gymnasts are stronger. They can do more stuff. Yeah. The ladies are more flexible. Yeah. Of course, a girl's gonna be a better ballerina, right? Well, fucking done. Yeah. Congratulations. Even a man could probably be a better ballerina. It's not the point, guys. You're not good at sports, so why are you just gonna sit here and focus on men are better? Men are not better than us. We should get paid equal. Shut the fuck up. Women have an absolutely crucial, important, and magical job as men, we are not able to provide life to another human. Imagine being able to provide life to another being. It is the most magical thing any single person in this whole world can do.
Most important as well.
Most important, most magical. And they sit here complaining because they're not as strong as us. This is an unbelievably gorgeous scenario. And now, oh no, I'm not just you don't have to be just that.
Yeah.
But just embrace that you have the most beautiful thing. And we don't have that.
The thing of the football is funny because you see 90% or 80% of people who watch football are men. So women need to watch women's football for the sport to grow into the salaries that they are asking for. Because there's the same population of men and women. So one's getting attention because the men are watching men and that's how they make money. And the women are not watching the women players. And there is more women obviously watching women's football, but in terms of population size.
I guarantee you now there are more women that watch men's football than more women that watch women's football. You've been to South America? You've seen a game down there? Half the crowd is women. They love it.
We need to go.
You think they're watching a fucking women's game? Of course they're not. Why? Because women are shit at football. I could walk onto a women's pitch now, highest level, best team in England right now. Actually, I think Chelsea, my team. I think Chelsea are the best women's team with their City and Arsenal are really good as well. I step onto that pitch now, I'm walking onto the pitch in without training, without fitness, with my back injury, I'll walk on the pitch and play. Like, come on, be realistic. Just embrace what you're amazing at. I'm not saying don't try and play high-level football. Go for it. But don't start asking for the same money that people are doing that's better for you. Yeah, that's like me going to the gym and being like, oh, can I please lift 200? Can I please bench 200 kg?
Yeah. Well,
we fucking bench it then. No, but can I please do it? No, because you can't fucking do it.
Yeah. And what's the meaning of toxic masculinity for Diego? What does that word mean? Because it's a word that's used so much, but I want to hear it from what it is in your perspective.
Again, masculinity, quite like women bringing kids into the world, can be a very beautiful thing. Masculinity can guide, can lead, can direct, can dominate in a beautiful way. So I'd say anything that I've just said, you're using it against someone else, that's when it becomes toxic. When you're using it to be the person you believe you should be for someone else, in terms of the leadership, the direction, that's when it's insanely healthy, not only for you, but for a relationship. You look at the level of like femininity or girls coming to be more masculine, and then you look in this day and age at the level of divorce rates, the level of arguments. No one's holding down a marriage anymore. Why? Because there's no balance to a relationship and there's loads of arguments. Why? Because there's two men. There's just two men in a relationship. Yeah, what happens when you put two dicks in a relationship?
The men becoming less of a woman as well.
Yeah, of course, because men feel like they have to. I sympathize with men a tiny bit, but in the last 2 years, they've got the message. There's no man with a phone that hasn't seen the message. So you've had your wake-up call, right? So now you got to do what you have to do. And again, not every man out there has to be like Andrew Tate, like whatever, pay for every single girl's meal. Some of us don't have money, but you should be striving to be a better man every single fucking day.
Yeah. Values remain values, eh?
And dicks remain dicks.
Yeah. But it's good of how you explain the toxic thing is when you like manipulate it into your favor, that becomes toxic. So
it's how you present it, it's how you communicate it, package it, like, right? Like you can either see it as, listen, I wouldn't want my woman to work a dirty job or a physically difficult job because that's my job to provide for her. Or you could see it as, no, I don't think a woman should ever fix a car because it's not her job. So
yeah.
Depends how you communicate it as well.
It's balance and intention. Intention's super, super important. Everything's about intention. If your intention is pure, then nothing's toxic. If your intention is to love, protect, and help in life, in every situation, nothing can become toxic.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna ask you a question.
All good?
Man. Are you good?
I'm just dying.
What's up?
Imagine you killed the Rizz God.
Oh.
Spiked my water.
Someone's gonna have to take his place.
Lose the Rizz God.
On that note,
That's
would
me.
I be able to get another glass of... Is that all right? Thank you, bro.
That's me. I'm the next Rizz God. 5'5" Rizz God. 5'4.5" Rizz God.
Rizz God, you got your water and you're gonna need it.
Hydration.
Yeah, because I'm gonna ask you a big question.
I'm probably going to decline.
Why is the Rizz God still single, man?
Money after Mick. You know the saying? No. It's a Caribbean saying. Money after Mick. There's money to be made. Huh? I'm in a bit of a dilemma now as to why I'm single, because any girl who would want me doing what I'm doing, in my head would lack a bit of self-respect. No girl would let me do what I do for a living, rightfully. But at the same time, any girl that like I would be really attracted to because they have that high level of self-respect, they wouldn't want me because of what I do. Again, very fairly. So I'm kind of in that cycle right now, but listen, what will be, will be. What will be. And I'm young. I'm enjoying life. I don't force anything. At the right time, things will happen and things will get put into their place. I don't think I'm going to have a lack of choice.
As a creator, it's tricky because it's very career-based as well. So like if your career is depending on approaching girls, and obviously you have to find a very solid, strong woman to be like really okay with it. And at the same time, you're saying that kind of value that she's not, because why is that girl going with someone who's in the pickup, game? So it's like...
It's a double-edged sword.
It's a strange thing. And I want to ask you a follow-up question to this is, where do you see yourself in a couple of years' time? Diego, in 3-4 years' time, is he going to be still doing his pickup? Does he want to move on to something else? Do you have a game plan?
In 2 years' time, I can guarantee you I will not be making pickup content. Unless it's like Hollywood production shit.
Maybe on the red carpet, hey?
Then after this clip, it's going to become Bitcoin, Because it's going to become rare. We're going to lose it.
Yeah, in 2 years, there's no way I'll be doing it for a long time already. And the only reason I still do it is because it won't die. This content never dies because every interaction is different and it's still super good. If it's from a content perspective, I definitely want to be doing something different. But for me, it's about getting into now the stages of sharing my message at a more personal level. So obviously I have my community, Quantum Rizz that we talked about the other day, and getting guys into that. I really want to build a community where I can share my opinion on a deeper level and really change the way people think. I want to bring the truth. That's my two passions in life are animals and bringing the truth. I want to bring the truth to the world. I want everyone to understand exactly how the world runs. It's crazy.
Tell us more about the truth.
It's scary, crazy, and beautiful at the same time. I'd say the biggest truth is nothing that we think matters actually matters. And that's not in a way like, oh, just be stress-free. But like the actual truth, everything we think matters doesn't matter. The government will try their hardest to make sure as NPCs, as citizens, we are all arguing, fighting, and worrying about every little thing as much as we can, so they can just play up. Like, imagine you're a mum and dad.
Yeah.
And you just like playing fucking PlayStation games. And you're just playing PlayStation games as a dad upstairs. You have 5 kids. As long as they're arguing, like seriously, between themselves downstairs, and they're not going to come up and, oh, mom, dad, I need this. Just let them argue. You've got your headphones on. You can just carry on playing your game. That's all it is. They're just keeping us.
They're throwing distractions.
Of course they are. You think wars aren't planned? You
Climate
think wars
change.
aren't intentional?
What's your opinion on climate change?
Man, I don't. My knowledge about climate change isn't that much. I don't really give a fuck about it. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, I play my part. I'll drink out of a fucking paper straw. One thing I don't understand is why the straws are paper and the cups are fucking plastic. Make the cups plastic and give me a paper straw, because I can't fucking drink out of a paper straw. It fucking clogs up at the bottom like a toilet. But the truth of it is that as soon as one thing happens, they'll give us another thing to argue about. As long as they have the boundaries between ethnicities, races, genders, anything, they'll do anything.
Huge one.
They'll do anything. And I'm not even going to sit here and say was never a thing. I'm not a scientist. But let's be real. Yeah, there was some dodgy shit going on there. That's one thing that's for sure.
Yeah, no question.
Again, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a scientist. Virus is not a real. Maybe it is. But no one can tell me that it's more dangerous than a normal cold or this, that. So
the biggest distraction of all time.
Yeah, and it worked.
It was.
And if it showed us anything, it's how easily manipulated and like what's the word? When you're happy to do something for someone.
Favor?
No, like when a teacher tells you to do something, like I'll do it. Obedient.
Yeah,
you're
compliant.
Compliant. There you go. How manipulative and compliant we are as humans. So say
And
media platforms.
you want to lock us in our house? Okay, lock us in the house.
Media platforms, like kind of banning certain accounts and messages.
Controlling the message as well.
So I have a question for you. When you know the truth, how do you go about actioning the truth? Do you go against the people on top? Do you work with them? If they don't align with what you believe in, how does that work?
What's your game plan?
It's a great question. So I don't know anyone at the top. I'll say that. I'm looking.
But if you had to get to the top, then
You can call it a building. Yeah, you can call it a building. And at every level of the building, you get to look down at what's happening and you get a better view at what's happening. Yeah. And the thing is, when you're on top, is you can see the people below you, but they can't see you above. Right. So that's always the thing you got to know. When you go up, you can see more. You can still see level 1 and level 25, but they cannot see level 26.
top always have an advantage. In
Right.
wars in Malta, we have huge fortresses because when they used to come attack us, you have no fucking problem because we're too high and they're just throwing bombs at them and they're all dead.
Right. So yeah, I mean, when you go up, you really just see what's going down. And I say that the most important thing you realize is that nothing down there matters. But not in a depressive mindset. In a mindset where you can actually focus on more important things that have more meaning. It's
He wants to expose the truth, but he's got to say the truth. But anyways, as well, when you're talking about your quantum physics and communities, do you create events as well and activities that get people together? Because I think that something that we really got inspired is spending 2-3 days with you. Imagine doing that with a group of guys our age, younger guys, maybe in Bali, in a huge house, or Malta maybe, and we can't do it ourselves. We get 20 young guys and maybe go through it. Have you done this before?
Yes, it's part of the next step. So I've done them online. I do everything online at the moment, but something that's super passionate about me, I feel like I have a power to really like touch people when I'm with them. And similar to girls, no homo. I love to like look in a guy's eyes and really communicate with them and really put a message into them, because my character is very upbeat, jokey, and not so serious. But there are certain messages I think guys need to hear that I'd love to be in person when I tell guys. So it's coming.
Guys, you all see him on content from your TikTok clips and all of this, but when you're in real life with him, I think one of his biggest assets is his eye contact. The way he looks at you, looks at girls, looks at guys. It is like he connects with you, you know? I feel that. Look at his face. We're exposing the Rizz God.
Man's like Avatar, you know?
Did he just tell me he feels me connecting with him?
No, but I see it when you look at girls, when you look at guys, you see that look, you know? You give them the connection look.
Yeah, it's the twitch as well. When I give him the 1-2, it's game over.
Yeah, I mean, even you spend a couple of days with the guy, he has his energy is he's always switched on.
And I have a question. Does the twitch make you self-conscious? Has it ever made you self-conscious when you're talking to people,
Naturally, of course. I would love to remember, I would love to go back to the time where, imagine the first time I twitched. I just woke up one morning, I was like, oh, what was that? That was weird. Because all I remember is that I was 13. I want to say 13. And I had it. I remember 2 stories. First story, my music teacher had the same twitch. And she I never had it. And then when I went in and I started doing it, she used to fucking scream at me for taking the piss out of her.
Shit.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go another way with what
yeah, we just had private detention and Twitch together. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of fucking twitching. No, and she really thought I was taking the piss. I was a naughty kid as well, so it would make sense. But it's not something I would ever do. And the only other thing is I remember going to the doctor and asking them, I went with my mum. My mum took me down to the doctor and we were like, what's going on? What is it? Not worried, but I got a twitch. And the doctor said, it's super, super common. When you're 16, it will just go. When you're 16, 17, it will go.
So you're always waiting
5 years later and it's still here.
But did that make you anxious that you didn't that wasn't going? You're 18, 19?
No, I mean, to be fair, I must have been 18, 19. I was like, wait, I swear this was meant to go 3 years ago. But no, I like it because it's another thing to make me different. And also it gives me a space to say, listen, even people who you think, oh, nice curly hair, green eyes, man, I've got to look at people and speak to them and do this all day. And the worst thing is when I talk about it and whatever, it gets worse. And I don't sleep a lot. When I drink coffee, it gets worse.
And you're always drinking coffee?
Right, always drinking coffee, always not sleeping enough, always tired.
But to me, that's inspiring as well, that someone who has something a bit of a twitch, and he is literally teaching people how to approach conversations with the right energy. And, imagine you didn't have it, you'd have less of a thing, but you don't make it a thing at all.
And I want to talk about that. Most people see you as, the most confident guy on social media. It takes a lot. And this is what people might not understand. And when you get to know someone personally, you do understand. it takes a lot to be doing that type of thing on a platform like TikTok and Instagram and get millions and millions of views. It's crazy. Like sometimes I try to put myself in your position. I think that's a bit too much for me, but that's insane. But also looking at, the realness to the person as well, and understanding that even, a person like yourself was also self-conscious about things growing up, that puts that personal feel to it. Like you are just like all the young guys who look up to you. You've been through it as well.
And a lot of guys have excuses, and like, what's your excuse,
Because I'm this, or
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's all,
I don't know if you guys like ever had a friend that has a girlfriend, and he's got a big nose, and you're like taking the piss out of him in front of his girlfriend, and his girlfriend goes, "No, I love his nose." Of course you do, because you love him. It's the same thing. Every girl, when we talk about my Twitch, they're like, "Oh no, I think it's really cute." Man, if some fucking weirdo down the street was doing it, you'd be like, "Oh my God, he's got this creepy blink and it does this." It's how you manipulate your own beauty because of your energy that you supply to someone. And my most, like, one of my most received comments on my TikTok is like, this guy blinks manually, like blinks like a robot, and every comment I should reply like, "It's my magical power, baby." That's the Rizz. As soon as I blink, bang, I cast a spell on them. They fall in love with me.
It's like you get that energy and you fucking boom, pack a punch with it.
Yeah. Nah, but I think, listen, I'm no one because I've got a Twitch, I'm very fortunate to be good looking. Of course, I've worked hard on my body to make sure I keep intact, but I've got nice curly hair and green eyes. Not many people have it. It's great. Everyone has their own shit that they're down for, right? Fucking hairy back or a small dick or a fucking weird shaped calf. I don't know. Everyone has
the last one,
Weird shaped calf.
no, like small calves, People get small calves because they can't grow their calves. Like calves are like
I think in the gym, it's
calves
in
are,
the
what do you
gym
call it?
culture as well is
The hardest.
big calves are the hardest.
Yeah, because it's like
hardest thing to
Genetic
grow.
thing.
Genetics,
yeah.
yeah. So you used to be a pro footballer. You got injured. You got into content, interviewing people in public. Understood the assets you had. Started to click a bit more when it comes to the picking up. And now you're selling courses and online coaching for guys to learn how to talk to women. Now you want to take it physical and a bit more personal with the experience you pass on. Where do you see this going, man?
Nothing short than the sky. I see this going of me like unveiling the truth of life and unveiling the importance of yourself as a man, like in huge stadiums and huge events. And I also think I'll have a lot of women. I think the more people start to understand how neutral I am in the way of I love everyone and I respect everyone, and I just preach the truth and nothing else but the truth. Of course, I say stuff like controversial sometimes, make a joke about a woman's tits and woohoo. But when people start to understand more about the truth, I really think I'll have a lot more like female supporters and understanders, and as I say, selling out shows.
What we saw at gym dates as well yesterday was not just the Rizz God coming out to play in terms of the main act in front of the camera, but also behind. And I think that in the next couple of years, you can come up with a mad concept, direct it to yourself, and maybe be in it as well. It's like I was watching the Sylvester Stallone Netflix show.
Yeah, that's great.
If you haven't watched it, watch it when you're on the plane, because it's one of the first ever times where the content creator really came out in Hollywood, where he was literally script writing himself and getting his character out himself. And in LA, when I went, they actually have a flipping road or a boulevard, Balboa Boulevard, named after Rocky.
And even
it's crazy.
Rocky, when he tried to sell the idea, he tried to sell it with himself, right? He wrote himself in it. And he told him, "Look, we love the idea, but we don't want you in it. Like, we will pay you big money to not be in the film." And he said no. And he went otherwise, and he pulled strings and somehow made it happen. And he wrote his own story, which is a great analogy of what you could be in.
I see that.
Excuses, huh?
Yeah, and there aren't many guy role models who, a lot of the young kids could look up to and sort of aspire to be and take their values in a positive and authentic way. I think those are, you can count them on your hands, and most people will say the same guys. So that is only, I think, going to.
But it's realistically as well, right? You can't teach a 17-year-old who comes from poverty to be taking out girls to fancy restaurants. And Tate's talks about, "Oh man, if you don't like her, fucking fly her home on your jet or do this," or it's not. He's preaching his message. He can do that, "Oh, bro, get a Bugatti and shut up," or whatever he's saying. It's brilliant. But for that 17-year-old guy that has no money and no time and no assets, that's when I'm here saying, you don't need anything. and I'll repeat a message that I've said multiple times on camera. I was with more girls. Pause. Crazy. I was with more girls driving my dad's shitty Peugeot than I was now driving a beautiful or a nicer car. I was not taking girls on dates. I was taking coffee dates. I was meeting them. I would pull up to their house in the car, put them in the passenger seat, and that's the way life is.
Let's talk relatability. So imagine I'm 17 years old, just get into university, 18 years old. I'm on stipend. How do I start making money?
You're on what?
You're on stipend. The stipend's like university grant. They give you like $100 a month, like so you can afford to sustain on it. But imagine you're like seeing this content right now as an 18-year-old, 16-year-old, maybe at sixth form. And what are your tips in terms of how could you make money in 2023?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not a multi-billion pound or a fucking multi-billionaire. So I don't think I'm necessarily the top guy to be sitting there and giving financial advice. However,
I'm not saying how to become a billionaire. I'm saying how to make money. You know?
Right, 100%. I think it's a message that Andrew Tate said absolutely incredibly, which I never thought of before. And when he said that, I was like, that was brilliant. The first thing you do is you need to find out what money is. When you understand the concept of money, it's insane. It's insanity. When you understand what money is, and then you search for where the money is, and then it's all about picking the apple off the fucking apple tree, because there are apple trees all over the world. You just have to get high enough to pick the apple and the right apples. But money, we have a saying as kids, money doesn't grow on trees. Money does grow on trees. There is unlimited money. They are literally, as we are speaking, printing billions and billions of sheet of paper that's just getting fucking flushed away and this, that. Money grows on trees. You just have to find out how to find it. If you can incorporate your passion into it, amazing. If you can incorporate something you love and something that has purpose into it, amazing. But money is available, and you have to put in the hours. When people go into Indeed for an hour, I search for all the jobs, there are no jobs. Ask people. Go into law firms and ask people, excuse me, how do you pay this person? How do you get your money? How does he get his money? How much does this cost? Understand the concept of money, and then you gotta make the money.
What skills you need to make the money? Like, what are the most important skills when you learn what you're saying? Then how do we action it?
Good energy and resilience.
Yeah.
And discipline. When you have good energy, you can communicate with anyone. You can ask anyone anything, and it will get you into the right places. And when you have the resilience to make money, to find it enough, you'll get in the right places.
Resilience.
Yeah.
Resilience.
His next program.
Okay, I have a question. Rizz God, what is the perfect woman?
Big question.
Think, man.
What's wifey material, bro?
Take me to Colombia, I'll show you.
Oh.
The best woman is someone, you're talking physically?
I'm talking everything.
Bro, you close your eyes.
And physicality aside. But we can do physical.
I close my eyes, all I see is Russell.
He closes his eyes, he manifests his wife in 7 years' time.
Okay.
Ideal woman for you.
For me, the first thing I imagine when I think about a woman is a woman that puts a lot of work into understanding you as a man. I think it's the most important thing. When a woman works hard to understand you, it's the most sexy fucking thing she could do. A woman that constantly tries to make your life as stress-free. I don't think girls understand as men how much like stress we encounter from 0 to however, whenever we die, 80, 90 if we're lucky. But making your life as stress-free as possible. In terms of attributes, I like dark attributes, dark hair, dark eyes, nice dark tan skin, Latina like, Colombian like. I like a woman that takes care of herself physically. I'm gonna be honest, if you look at my track record, I've been with every type of flipping woman, from flipping cockroaches to gorillas, like, you know.
And what will you bring to your wifey?
Everything a man needs to. She'll be led and directed in the way she needs to be. She'll be protected for life. She'll be provided for life. She won't have any pressure to supply anything to me and my family. She'll be able to live an extremely comfortable and pleasant life while I put myself constantly through hard work and pain endurance. So she can be in the best state that she can be in to look after my family, which includes me. right? It goes round in circles. She's got to look after me sometimes, on a psychological level, on a health level, while I'm looking after the necessities of her life.
What if she doesn't like animals?
It's going to be a problem because I want to have a zoo in my back garden. I want to have I'd love to have a family with like shit tons of dogs. I'd actually love for like, I don't know, like every kid I have to get them like a dog when they're born, and that's like the.
You used to have pets when you were younger?
No, we never had pets. No, it was a real shame.
You really talk about animals like you've.
Yeah, like you've grown up with them.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. I mean, I fell in love with animals like with a crazy level when I went to Kenya when I was 16 and I went on safari. That was like crazy. That was the first time I saw real nature. I've always loved animals, and now my love of animals has come by the simplicity of their brain. You know, they're very simple creatures, easy to communicate with, even though that sounds a bit weird. Incredibly loyal, incredibly loving, and you know what you get with them. I love animals, and as I say, listen, things change, but a dream of mine is definitely to end my life around animals, and to the back end of my life. When I say end my life, I mean like towards the end of my life when I've got my family and I've got my stability, to go and maybe live on a safari park in the midst of East Africa.
The Rizz Kingdom.
I can
Rizz
picture you
Kingdom.
like that, yeah.
I love
Who's
animals.
The Kingdom of Rizz.
The tiger guy, that guy, what's his
Tiger Kingdom.
Yeah. The Tiger King.
Not like that
Not
guy.
like
I hope not. I never actually finished that
name? I
documentary.
saw like 2 episodes, absolute shit show.
Yeah, absolutely
And
crazy.
I'm like, I just lost brain cells.
Crazy, yeah.
Life is so simple, man. It's crazy.
And everyone overcomplicates everything. Every
You
single
want to spend
thing.
4 hours
That's a
on.
distraction as well. You know? It all is a distraction.
You don't want to spend 4 hours speaking on a podcast. Like it's 1 hour, 10 minutes. Spoke about a lot already, and it's so simple. Like, what else are you going to speak about? What else is there more to life as simple as it is, you know? Have a good time, experience everything. And one really good thing I saw recently was Alex Hormozy had this really good perspective, is like, be grateful as well, is that when you're 80, you're not going to wake up from your bed feeling so good as you feel now. Today, so strong and so powerful. And so, like, I can meet you, I can meet him, I can meet this girl, this guy, we can go to the gym together. And I think a lot of guys and girls forget about the fact that the majority of people are so healthy and they have a very sharp brain, and we don't use it to the max.
Yeah, even the accessibility of everything. Like a week and a half ago, we hadn't even known each other ever. Now, like, chilling over here again, 2-3 days. Just so easy today.
Yeah.
To get stuff,
Now, when I'm 80, I'm going to be jumping out of my bed the same.
Bro.
I'm still going to be Rizz the cashier at the supermarket.
He'll
bro.
be on the treadmill doing it better than me.
Yeah. No, when I'm 80, my wife probably would have probably died by then, so I'll be finding another like 25-year-old woman to remarry. Look after my kids that are older than her. That would be funny. My 40-year-old kids, and they're like, my wife's like 30.
Playboy Mansion Safari.
Literally.
That's it.
And that's the Kingdom of Rizz, guys.
Yeah.
I think we could wrap it up.
That's what she said.
Oh. Who's going to close it off?
That's
up to you, man.
Who's going to pull out?
I'll close it off.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, we've still got a night to enjoy in Malta, but that is the end of the episode with myself and the guys from Bulletproof, which, as I said at the start, and I'll repeat now, is an amazing concept that brings so much good shit together and good energy. Thank you for having me on, guys, and make sure everyone's tuned in for more stuff, to like, subscribe, and do all the things that we love you to do. And hopefully I'll be back very soon, whatever the fuck it is that we're getting ourselves involved in.
Yes, sir.
Good day, good night, and stay happy and lovely, peoples.
Nice, man.
Woo!